Hello, and welcome to the W.A.I.T channel. What Am I Thinking? A podcast where two sisters share uplifting conversations on fun and sometimes serious topics.
Join us each week by clicking the notification bell and subscribing to our channel. If you enjoy the show, use the share link. It's one of the best ways to expand the conversation.
Welcome back to the W.A.I.T channel. What am I thinking? Today we're going to talk about the midterm elections. And Tracy, I'm going to turn the mic over to you on this particular subject because I kind of have one foot in the water and one foot out.
Understandable. So I did not watch the results coming in on election night because I was not prepared for good, bad, or indifferent results. I just wasn't. I knew I had done my civic duty and voted and trusted however it turned out, we would be fine. And it was not a blue wave or a red wave. It seems as if it was sort of a purple wave. And in the end, it's looking like if we can squeak out, well, I don't say we because it's not either way, but if the Dems can get either Nevada or Arizona, then they will definitely control the Senate. They need to get two. If they get one of those, then they will have to be waiting on the results from the December 6th runoff in Georgia. So the chances are better for them to hold on to the Senate than to hold on to the House. It seems like the Republicans may squeak that one out. Most people are bracing themselves because they kind of feel like if the Democrats were to retain power, then more business could happen and things would get done if they kept the House, the Senate, along with the White House. The thinking is if the Republicans get power in even one of them, brace yourself for all these different investigations and that it's going to be gridlock and nothing is going to get accomplished, which is not healthy for the country for several reasons, but mainly because there needs to be some real work done and things to help us out of the inflation, make it through what's looking like the recession that's coming. And it takes the government to kind of get involved with that. But if the Republicans end up with the House and the Senate and Biden and the White House, once again, it's probably not going to be a ton of great things happening. The only thing about having Biden in the White House is if they were to put together some type of bills and things, they don't have enough power to put through a veto-proof bill. So in that regard, we would once again be at nothing getting accomplished. And that makes me sad because that's a disservice to the nation because we send them to Washington to do the business to help this country function and to be healthy and do what it needs to do. So as we wait for results to come in, maybe by the time this airs, we will know a little bit more. But not a lot because December 6th, I think, is still going to be consequential. Not sure when they're finalizing results in Nevada and Arizona for the Senate race, as well as the outstanding House races. For each side, they have their gem that they are touting as success. The Republicans are touting Florida because they won a lot of counties that they typically would not have won. And the governor's race, he won by over 20 points, DeSantis did. So they're looking at that as their model state. And the Dems are looking at Michigan as their model state because Gretchen won re-election and they won a lot of local races that's helping them change that narrative that they had going on. And so it's one of those things where each person is trying to kind of tout their success. But I would say overall, the country won because what you were able to see is your vote does matter. And there was some races that could have gone either way, and individuals who chose not to participate may have lost it for their particular party. It really could have been a different dynamic for either side if they could have pushed out a few more voters, because a lot of the races are just that close. So when I look at the election results, I'm not as sad as I thought I might be, but I'm also not jumping up and down happy because I just have this sense that nothing is really going to get done in Washington during the next 2 years, because it would be a miracle if the Democrats kept the House, the Senate. It would be a miracle. And miracles do happen.
They do happen.
And as you know, we don't check the box of Republican or Democrat, but I check the box of wanting to get legislation passed and do some things that's going to be overall in the benefit of helping us through this inflation time and through a recession and back to a healthy economy, job rate, and all that stuff.
You know, as you were talking, I reflected back on when I was a kid. In the history books, the one name that always popped out was Tip O'Neill. And Tip O'Neill was the Speaker of the House. He was actually the longest to date standing Speaker of the House. It was 10 years. He was an individual that served during a time where there was cooperation across the aisles.
Yeah.
And something sincerely has been lost in this country since then. And I didn't realize one of the reasons I knew his name is because of him being the speaker for so long.
Yeah, because I
and
know
just hearing
as well.
Right. So
I can see him. He was a big,
yes,
and he was a big guy.
Yes,
but he also was big in his reputation to be able to get things done.
Very much so. I think Reagan was the last president I think that he served with as speaker.
Right. Yeah.
And they still worked well together. So I don't want to end on a negative note. But if we could do it then, we could do it now. But it is the voters that must press their legislators to go to Washington and work. Not special interests, not our lobbyists, but to actually work.
Well, that takes me back to these career politicians, and that should never, as we have just had Veterans Day, I look at the service that individuals do for their country in the military, and I feel as if politicians, before they are able to run for office, need to Peace Corps some certain amount of years of volunteer through some organization, military service, go back to that sense of selflessness, and then come in and serve. And even then, every office should have a term limit. If it's good enough for the highest office in the land, why wouldn't you do the same for the House and the Senate? And I still say, if 4 years works for the presidency, 2 years is too short in the House, And 6 years is
It's
too
too
long
long.
in the Senate.
It's too long.
And the individuals that can change that are the ones that are in office,
Right.
and they don't want to change
They don't want to change it.
But I believe as a people, we can force that. So if you're a person that wants to take back democracy and let them go and truly work for their constituents, make a comment, start a petition, and let our leaders know we want term limits on every office. We want all of them to serve no more than 8 years. 4 years at a time is the max of what they need to serve.
Including the Supreme Court.
And let's talk about it. A lifetime appointment? No, it doesn't need to be that way. So there's some changes that need to be made. The system that was put in place at a time that we are long past. We change a lot of things, and change is not bad. It's just change. So let our voices be heard and chime in on how you feel about the midterm election results, and just let us know what you are thinking. Thanks for tuning in to the W.A.I.T channel, and please tune in next week.